Welcome to KocoSports WWE Week in Review. I'm the huge one, Dave Coco from KocoSports, KocoSports.com, where the world goes to get cash, your home for combat sports, and where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And biggest John Cena fan, John Cena, fix his name. Rob loves John Cena, loves the Shields. He is my co-host, and this is Week 10 Review.
I don't know about loves John Cena.
Down in the comments below, please put what you thought was the best WWE show of the week and who your MVP was. Rob, I will let you go first because I am really stumped on an MVP.
Yeah,
Well, who was your? Let's start with the easy one. What was the show of the week? Show of the week for me was NXT. NXT the last couple weeks has been absolutely horrible, and it went back to average, and an average NXT stole this week. What was your favorite show of the week?
dude, I enjoyed literally every show more than NXT.
Really? See, we are fucking the opposites. You are Mr. Sports Entertainment. I am angry pro wrestling nerd. New Japan fucking rules guy. All right.
I think my show would have to be SmackDown.
SmackDown. All right. I just didn't enjoy SmackDown because I was the Rain Man of SmackDown. I literally could predict everything without reading the spoilers. And I just think maybe because you took a long break, and I never took a break from watching this yet. And I think maybe I need to take a break and go find my smile. But not only could I predict everything that would happen on SmackDown, I was like even predicting camera angles. Everyone in the room was like, "Dude, what are you, the Rain Man?" I'm like, "Zoom out, Kane will be there. Kane will be in the main event. They will show." You know what I mean? So
Maybe
I don't
you
know.
were the Rain Man.
Maybe I'm the Rain Man of SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't bad. It was just the most predictable thing ever. I just think it was completely skippable. But who knows? Maybe you did enjoy it. What show did you enjoy the most this week? Leave in the comments. And as far as MVP, that's a really, really tough show.
Bo Dallas.
What's that?
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas, you believe?
Actually, no. No, Kenta's MVP.
Yeah, that's all we've been talking about. I'm sure when we recap news, because at the end of recapping each show, I'll go over the big stories, and Rob will go over his wrestling theories. They're like conspiracy theories, only about pro wrestling. Yeah, Kenta was the thing I was most excited about. I'm going to give it to Sami Zayn. You know, he only showed up on one show, but Tyson Kidd maybe. I'm trying to think.
That's a pretty lax standard for MVP.
What's that? Well, this week,
he showed up on one show. He did an okay match. I guess MVP.
Well, this is the problem with this week's MVP. Nothing was good. Nothing was
Bo Dallas was good.
The only day of the week that was good for me was Thursday. You know what? Fuck it. I love Bo Dallas. I'm just going to give my MVP to Bo Dallas because he brings joy into my life. And that's what MVP should be about. Who cares if he struck out 9? And he is undefeated. He does have the streak, so he has a winning streak. You know what? Bo Dallas it is, my friend. We both agree.
Bo Dallas, next Intercontinental champ.
I mean, possibly Roman Reigns, but, I mean, I don't know. Did he have that many matches? It just seemed like he was shoved down our throats storyline-wise, but not many matches.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And Sheamus has really been improving, though. Sheamus, I'm a Sheamus hater. He's really been impressing me as a thing.
Him and Alberto Del Rio's done a lot better, too.
Sheamus has been doing a lot better.
And John Cena's been doing great.
I guess. At what?
Ever since he won the championship.
Yeah. I just, dude, nowadays, like, I don't know. I don't even think there's really John Cena fans. Like, people are like, oh, I don't really like John Cena. And, like, to me, it's like, oh, okay, you just want to make me angry. Got it. Like, you don't even fucking, like, respond. Like, me believing that you legit like John Cena is, like, long gone. Like, you like him like the fucking... But you ever have that one kid who's absolutely delusional in high school and thinks he's the coolest fucking person in the world, but everyone fucking hates him? I'm sure even when you grow up you have that, but in high school they were really bad. And everyone,
that was me.
Fuck that guy, fuck that guy. And then, like, someone will come by and be like, no, he's pretty cool. and you know deep down inside they're just doing it because they feel bad for the guy. That's where I am with John Cena. Like when someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, John Cena's not that bad," because Rob always does this on Facebook. I just tap him on the back and be like, "That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? Boost up the little guy's confidence."
I don't fully hate John Cena though. Like I love John Cena in many regards. I think he's great as a human being. He's awesome.
I don't know. I'm not even that far. You know, because a great human being, if John Cena's a great human being, we're just giving that fucking title to anybody.
I'm just saying, maybe John Cena is just not stepping up and saying, "Hey, you guys shouldn't do this with the story," because he's a corporate guy and he doesn't want to step on toes. He's a worker that just wants to do his job, keep his head down. That's a pretty common thing in the American population.
I don't know. I don't think that's supposed to be a compliment towards Cena. I think that's more of a knock towards America. But all right, sure. I don't even have an argument. Like, sure, that's what you want to fucking believe. You know, all right, whatever. You know, it's kind of like when something great happens, and then some religious guy comes up and like, that's what fucking SpongeBob did. Like,
I will say,
maybe that's what's that?
I will say in defense of this week of WWE, I think a lot of the negativity toward WWE in general this week is also caused by CM Punk leaving and people having to accept that. So they're looking at the product way more harshly and just like, fuck this, this all sucks. Where's Punk?
That's a possibility, not with me.
No, definitely with you.
I did not enjoy this week. Matter of fact, once again, and we've been doing WWE in review because Rob refuses to watch Impact. Once again, Thursday was best. Thursday was the best day of the week. As a matter of fact, if you only watched NXT and TNA, you are better off than us because we watched all. All right, let's break it down.
Disagree.
All right, well.
Especially with that shit fucking intro to TNA. Are you kidding me?
What intro? Where they cut the promos?
Yeah, you know what intro.
You didn't watch TNA.
Shitnay. That's what it is.
All right, don't bash TNA unless you watch it. Roman Reigns confronted WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. It happened. The Miz defeated U.S. Champion Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, and the match was nowhere near as good as... Dude, you know it was a good match and WWE sucked. Well, we're like 3 weeks ago on Main Event. That's when you know it was bad. When you're like putting a positive spin on it. You're like, dude, Sheamus versus Del Rio, last man standing, 17 weeks ago? That was a good match. Oh.
We were doing that with Seth Rollins for a bit.
Yeah, which with his promos. And here's another thing. I'm dying. I apologize. No, here's another thing that I want to say. Battleground needs to kind of be awesome. Like, I think if Battleground isn't somewhat good, they're gonna fucking break me. You know, there's a part of me. This is wrestling theory time, and I know we're breaking down Raw, but there's a part of me that I believe that WWE fucking goes and finds passionate wrestling fans and fucking just like, you know what, we're not going to give you what you want. But I think they do it just long enough so that they don't fucking break. You know, everyone's like, oh, they'll come back to Raw no matter what. But usually it's like, oh, we give up. Oh, here's CM Punk. Oh, we give up. Here's the Shield. I think either this pay-per-view or this Raw, they have to do something to keep the passionate fans' interest. Because, dude, it's been a fucking long week. It's been a long week. Dolph Ziggler defeated Fandango, our KocoSports Internet champion. Way to go, Dolph. The Wyatt family attacked the Usos and canceled the match. The USA, Russia, basically turned into a brawl. They had all the USA and Russia. You fuckers. Basically, Rusev, Lana, Yosemite Sam, and Jack Swagger talked about how great Russia and America is. There's rumors, internet rumors, and WWE has a history of this, that they're going to be dropping the storyline because of all the plane situation in the news. I'd be kind of heartbroken about that, to be honest with you, because it's pretty. It's a decent.
I hope they at least give it a climactic
It would
finish.
simplify the story, which is kind of stupid for the masses. Go ahead.
I just hope they give it a good finish.
Dude, the only finish that can be even accepted in my eyes is that Swagger is beating the shit out of him. Lana smacks him in the corner, and he goes, "I don't fight for Russia, I fight for me." That's the only ending I accept.
And then Daniel Bryan comes running out because he's actually fully healed and recovered, and he fights him for America.
All right, we're getting a little bit of wrestling theories a little early, as the American Dragon. Albert Del Rio defeated Rob Van Dam. Del Rio had a lot of matches this week, too. Alicia Fox and Cameron defeated Nikki Bella, which that never happened. Biggie Langston defeated Antonio Cesaro. I enjoy these matches, and I enjoy these mid-carders. They just need more time. Chris Jericho called out Bray Wyatt, and that did not end well for him as he got beat up. Divas champion AJ Lee defeated a mop. Bo Dallas defeated the Great Khali via countout. Well, Bo Dallas, our MVP Bo Dallas. And World Heavyweight Champion John Cena and Roman Reigns defeated Randy Orton, Kane, and Seth Rollins via disqualification in what can be best described as house show wrestling. Yeah, so overall, what do you want to talk about Raw? Our MVP Bo Dallas still undefeated. Big E needing more time. What do you want to talk about before we go to Raw?
I don't know. Hearing you recap it reminded me how shitty it was.
Hold on. You don't get to be like, Raw wasn't that bad. Let's talk about the highlights. And you're like, I just don't know. You're like, now that I've actually heard the results.
Now that I'm reminded of the results, I might have been looking back with rose-colored glasses.
It's kind of like the girl you lost your virginity to is a lot hotter than you fucking if you actually go meet her. Like, you go back home and you're like, I lost my virginity to this hot banging chick, and then you go home and she's working behind the counter at Wawa, and you're just like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah. It was awkward, and then your mom's like, am I still hot? And I'm like, yes, I guess.
I think it's too early in this show to drop mom jokes. All right, so Raw happened. I gave it a loss. You thought it was a lot better. You thought who you lost your virginity to was a lot better looking than she actually was.
I mean, I did like the Dean Ambrose spots. I did like the build up to the main event, and I liked Seth Rollins did do an amazing job faking an injury.
Yeah, that looked really good, and it faked out a lot of people. And, a lot of people on the internet get pissed off when they're tricked. They're like, he's injured, he's not injured. I actually like it. I like the fact that there's a little bit of mystery in it, So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of faking injuries, but it seems like they didn't go all out. They didn't get the stretcher and all that shit. They're like, oh, he might be hurt knee. The only reason I hate faking injuries is because when a real injury happens, it just seems the fans don't take it as serious and are disrespectful to the athletes. And the reason is because you fake injuries all the time. Why should they take an injury seriously? But this one I think was done well. And I forgot John Cena and Roman Reigns. Worst fucking friends ever.
They're the best friends. You just don't know it yet. John Cena's going to reform the Shield with them.
Everything you said made me sad. But
it's gonna be redubbed the Cena Nation.
Well, I mean, why didn't they at least run towards the back? I mean, why? They didn't even bother. They're like, fuck it, he's in the back. We're here. I'm number one contender. I'm champ.
They're gonna phonetically say Cena's name while they all walk down to the ring.
Well, my whole thing is, like, if I had it, I would just fucking do, like, what? And it's so funny, because sometimes it's live, it's difficult. You could just tweak one thing, and it's way better. And it's just that I think people there are just yes men. I don't think anyone says, hey, there's a problem here. Because I think if you go, hey, there's a problem here, you wind up being fired. So I think, like, there has to be someone in creative that goes, hey, there's a problem. Let's go back to the ring and show Roman Reigns and John Cena run towards the back. They don't have to get to him in time, but you can at least make it look like they're somewhat friends,
Yeah.
That's it. And it's nitpicking shit, but, people defend WWE way too much. They're the best in the world at what they do, allegedly. They're supposed to be the best wrestling entertainment company. And they fucking just half-ass it. There's not many people that can be the best at what they do, making money-wise, fame-wise, and half-ass it as much as they do. I honestly think, like, I used to say John Cena and WWE are the Justin Bieber of pro wrestling. But I disagree with that. I think who the fuck is the guy, fucking Bieber? Justin Bieber. I think Justin Bieber works harder than them. I honestly do. And that's fucking sad. I just wish they put effort into it and thought about it. And the problem is, I know exactly why they slipped through the crack. There was some scared fucking intern barely making enough money to feed himself, and he's like, how the fuck did I even make it here on my pay? And goes, I could say something, but then what else would I do for a living? And he just sits there and says nothing. And that's the problem with WWE. Because the first person that goes, hey, that's fucking stupid, they should run towards the back. They're like, we don't like your attitude. It's just pro wrestling. All right, so I gave it a loss, and you thought it was a lot better than it was. Remember when Main Event was good? Let's take a moment. Remember that? It was...
1 week ago.
This week in review is, we're going to review this week, but we're going to remember how great last week's Sheamus versus Del Rio match was. Because you know what? We knew it was good last week, but after this week, we just appreciated it a million times more. Is it safe to say we appreciated it more now than ever?
Yeah, it's like, wow, he really did put it all in that fucking Main Event.
Ms. TV premiered on the WWE Network. I know we were all happy for that. Emma Dashwood defeated Cameron. Cameron? Is that right? I don't know. I just fucking suck at dactyls. Biggie Langston, Kofi Kingston defeated Ryback and Curtis Axel in the most average, stereotypical match ever. Like, you cannot... The best part about this match is there's nothing good you can say about it, and there's nothing bad you can say about it.
See, I actually would like to see Kofi and Big E become a team.
I hope so, but they have to do more, because right now, it's... You're black. You're together. Like, they have to actually start wearing the same tights, have a reason they're tag teaming, saying we got each other, hey, we were best buddies back in Nam. I don't know, there has to be some type of connection besides they're two black random guys going against two white random guys.
No, that is the connection. Vince McMahon thought of it himself. So wouldn't it have been great if we had two black fellas fight against two white fellas? And was like, yes, sir, Mr. McMahon, we'll get that going.
And then you know someone's like, ain't that a bit racist? And he'll be like, no, because the black guys are going to win. Everyone's going to win. Everyone's going to love it. But wouldn't it be great if there was a black champ? Hey, you calm down there, as he's putting on his KKK hood.
Oh, wow. You took that a bit farther, Dave.
All I'm saying is there a more racist publicly traded company? That's the challenge.
KocoSports.
Yeah, I'll tell our staff.
How many black staff do you have?
What's that?
How many black staff do you have?
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Right now.
Uh-huh. None.
All time or right now?
Right now.
Right now, probably 2 or 3 that, 2 or 3.
So you don't even know the exact number. One of them might be.
We don't have contracts. We don't pay them. They come in, they do work, and leave. I mean, if you actually think about it, the only person who gets paid is me.
Yeah, this is a raw deal.
I don't know. I just think, no, I honestly think everyone's a little bit racist, and I think everyone uses the word racist way, way too much. I honestly do. And they did a thing here in Japan, and people that said they weren't racist and people who said they were racist both scored the same. The people who said they were a little bit racist were actually the least amount racist. They did this survey. They went in, they interviewed people, and they asked, "Are you racist?" And they asked a bunch of other questions. and then they followed them through their day. And the people who said they were a little bit racist were actually the least racist. And people that said, no, I'm not racist, were just as bad as people treating other races as people who said they were racist. And I find that study to be amazing, because it's kind of true. I mean, I went to college, a private college in Florida, very expensive. The Harvard of the South. I fucking hate the college I went to. But I went to a college, and I remember I said something that was not completely PC. And they were like, you're a racist, blah, 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 blah. And I got accused of being a racist. And I walked outside, and me and my black friends were about to go get sandwiches, and all these white people who called me a racist were scared to talk to them. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with the world? But I think people throw around the R word a little way too much. But the problem with WWE is there's a huge track record. You know, and everyone's like, oh, don't worry about Kenta. They took care of these other guys. But it's not true. No one in Japan, no Japanese guy has been successful in WWE. That's a bad track record. Considering if you took fans that watched wrestling around the world and were so-called experts and watched different styles, there would be Japanese wrestlers in their top 100. There was no Japanese wrestlers in their top 100. So, yeah, you got to call them out on it. And if I'm racist, call me out on it. But they'd be like, oh, I'm not racist, or, oh, he's...
Wait. Wasn't Yokozuna Japanese?
He played a Japanese character, but he's Samoan. He's actually in the Rock's family and the Usos family and all that. He played a Japanese character, but he wasn't actually Japanese.
What is that family? Do they just, like, as soon as they can walk, put them in a little ring together and make them wrestle until they're adults?
Dude, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. You're just like, hey.
like good news, Jimmy and Jay walk today. They can get in the ring with The Rock.
I don't know, but it's absolutely amazing. And in Orlando, you can be traded by the Samoans. I think it's XWF. Don't quote me on that. No, not XWF. It's XWX. I don't know, but look in the Orlando area, and the Samoans have a really good school there. All right, U.S. champion Sheamus O'Shaughnessy defeated The Miz. So Sheamus defeated The Miz. I don't know. I would just say it was average.
I hate The Miz.
The only thing I'm pissed off is Emma beats Cameron, and they do not say she stole a victory. Because she was getting her ass whooped, and the last second she gets the roll-up. You know, I don't believe they should fire her, but they should definitely have joked about that she stole a victory.
Maybe they want it. I would guess that it's more they're worried about it being forgotten. They're like, let's pretend it never happened.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I just can't believe they fired her for it. Man.
They unfired her.
They did unfire her, but I wonder, it's one of those things, it's kind of like, you know, a lot of WWE people are like, Daniel Bryan, they gave you what you wanted, and fucking blah, 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 WWE's great, but I always wonder, like, if you had a time machine or a Marvel What If comic, what if people didn't get behind Daniel Bryan? Do you think they would have gave them what they wanted if they didn't fucking ruin the rest of the storylines? And people that defend WWE, if you really fucking believe that, I want to fucking poke you in the eye. And the second thing is, I wonder, you know, they fired her, everyone went crazy, and I kind of wonder if we didn't complain, the internet, the masses, if she would have ever been rehired. So, it's kind of the big what if comic, what if thing. So bam, and sorry man, I'm really sick, I apologize. Marcus Cooper, Boom Boom says, the Samoans you're thinking of are the Anois. Alright, we're going to do pay-per-view.
Why doesn't Boom Boom join us?
Boom. Alright, and bam. Let's go to some live comments here. Mr. The King says, they need to make Raw and SmackDown one show because SmackDown is where the wrestling is and Raw is just storylines or advancements. Yeah, I think so, but the only problem with that is if they made it one, I think just Raw would win out. I think SmackDown is the alternative, the real alternative with wrestling. But even this week's wrestling was kind of predictable. All right, anything else you got to say about main event, or do you just want to say one more time how last week's main event was amazing?
It still wasn't that terrible. I mean, It advanced some storylines.
All right. I think me and you are like grading teachers, and I'm like, F, 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 D, and you're like, he was a good boy. C, B, A, 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 A.
I don't know. There are some Fs in there. Eva Marie, anytime she wrestles, gets an F.
Remember last week when they said this? Last week was the good main event, and they went, "Oh, and you can see matches like this all the time on main event if you order the network." Can you? I mean, do you think he even feels guilty for saying that out loud on air?
No, because I'm sure he had Vince's hand up his ass, moving his lips.
So there you go. All right, so here we go. Bam, bam, NXT. This is my favorite show of the week. It's been in a bit of a slump. I thought it went average, but let's see. You had the Vaudevillains defeat Enzo and Big Cass, set up a lot of tag team action. You had CJ Parker defeat Xavier Woods, which was a great match. Guys hustling, great athletes, worst fucking storyline ever.
I didn't think it was that great. I felt like CJ Parker kind of sucked in that match.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm just going easy. Maybe I'm the easy grader here.
He got carried through that match pretty hard.
Sasha Banks defeats Alexa Bliss. Adam Rose defeated Jason Jordan. And Sami Zayn defeated Tyson Kidd. What's your thoughts? And then I'll head it up real quick.
I liked the change to the Vaudevillains entrance. The adding the carnival barker to it, I thought was really cool. Also, I'm not sure from because in their interview they didn't speak when they came into the interview. So I don't know if that's a new thing. They're just never going to talk again. I don't know. That could be really interesting, but also really terrible. It'd be cool if it works, but we'll see. And then you had the only other high part of the night for me was I thought that Tyson Kidd was an awesome heel, like really good for NXT.
Yeah, I like Tyson Kidd a lot. I like the opening match because they did a good job of re-establishing a tag team. I still stick by the Parker Woods storyline is the worst in years. It's just embarrassingly bad. They had so much potential, and they just threw it away. Like, it was just bad. Banks versus Bliss happened. I want to see what Jason Jordan can do. I think Jason Jordan might have talent. I haven't seen enough of him. You know, every time I see him, I'm like, hey, this guy could go. So it'd be kind of interesting to see. And Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, it seems like this storyline and this match has been carrying NXT through its hard times right now. Like, even when NXT is bad, these guys are carrying it.
All right, yeah, but if I said that about something on WWE's main roster, if I said that exact same thing about them, you'd say, oh, well, that's not their fault. That's the booker's fault. The booker should have made better stories. There should have been better writing. The story should have been better all over. It shouldn't be up to one guy or one group of guys to carry the show.
No.
Because that's a failing of booking.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm not the guys. Well, they rebuilt the tag team division, so that's good. That's improvement. The Xavier Woods thing is absolutely horrible. That storyline. The Divas, yeah, it happened. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I just think during this time, the only thing worth watching was Tyson Kidd and Sami Zayn. It's kind of like Raw sucks, but Bo Dallas is worth watching.
I just kind of want to erase this entire month of fucking NXT. Just all of it.
Oh, yeah. If you erase this month of NXT, because prior to the big event,
TakeOver.
Yeah, TakeOver. Everything prior to that was absolutely awesome. Everything after TakeOver, there's like they went on fucking vacation. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'm hoping, maybe this is the case. I'm going to ask you because you've been watching NXT with me. Do you think this week was average, but we liked it a lot more because the last 2 or 3 weeks have been absolutely garbage?
Yep. I don't think this week was good. I think it was okay. Like, This week was on the level of the regular roster shows. It's just that the rest of NXT has been so goddamn horrible that this week was like, it's not that bad. Pretty good, I guess. For some guys that are smashing my dick with a hammer.
Marcus Rowland asked, why is it that WWE knew how to book Paige in NXT but not in WWE? I think maybe this is just me. One factor is Paige wasn't super nervous in NXT. When Paige got called up, she's very young. When Paige got called up to WWE, she was nervous, and I think she's still nervous. I don't think she wrestled her whole life. She wrestled on the Indies, wrestled on NXT, but I guess when she got to the big stage, she wasn't herself. So there is a part of it where she's just like, dude, you have to stop being nervous. She's very nervous. She was a lot more confident in England. She was a lot more confident in NXT. So I think she has to do that. But with that said, I think NXT is about putting wrestlers over, putting storylines over. I like the announce team. Even when the show sucks, the announce team does a good job putting over a shitty show. But I think when it comes to WWE, they're fucking lazy, creatively, and on the mic. So I think you went from a company trying to help Paige, like NXT is like, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. We're going to help you on commentary. We're going to help you in booking. And then she came up to WWE, and they're like, well, what the fuck can you do? You obviously are not John Cena. What can you do? And I honestly think that's a huge difference. I think it's easier to get over in NXT because creative and commentary are trying to get you over. Where WWE, it's old school, I just want to keep my spot. And her being nervous definitely hurt the situation, but WWE not giving a fuck about her hurt it way worse. And it was just a perfect storm. I'm nervous. We don't give a fuck about you. Okay, this is going to work out great. You know what I mean? At least that's my opinion on the situation.
That's how it felt. Well, I don't know if WWE was as against it as you think. I personally think it was mostly just her nerves are terrible. Because I think that's why they're pairing her with Paige and AJ Lee now. Is because Paige and her do a lot of shit now, and I think that's to help her learn.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's not really a better person to stick her with to learn for Divas right now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it works out, and I hope that this storyline leads her to be a heel/anti-diva, because she plays that character a million times better than she plays the I'm a good guy, look at me,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like WWE, her first run in WWE was like, try to be a diva, and she's like, this ain't me. So that might have also been part of the factor. It was just the perfect puzzle. It was like the Sin Cara situation. Everyone had something wrong happen, but at the end of the day, the product was, wow, poor Paige.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think AJ Lee, with her experience, how great she is, turning her to the anti-diva, I think could help her and she could rebound her career. I honestly think, this is just me guessing, I think Paige will be a comeback story. I think people are going to be like, wow, she really turned it around. At least that's what I'm rooting for, because she's been doing this, her family's been doing this their whole lives.
I want AJ Lee to beat her and to stay the champ.
All right, Forsaken says, Rob, Dave, glad to hear you both. It's been a long week, but I've been keeping up with you guys. You both are awesome on the weekly reviews. I'm going to try hard for hosting the pay-per-view internet inventory. All right, cool. Yeah, so the inventory chat. All right, that's it. I think cut it off.
Way to go, Dave. You had one job. It was to read the full comment.
I know, but these guys are jerks. They cut it off, and then I have to...
Like, this is the one thing we asked you to do. Read full comments.
All right. Weekly reviews. I'm going to try hard to make the pay-per-view internet inventory live chat on Google Hangouts. If any entry members want to join in, and those who have it before, let me know in replies here. I can find you all easily that way. All right, yeah, we usually just go in and chat during the pay-per-views and all this when Forsaken has some time. So it looks like pay-per-view, Internet Imagery Chat is back on. Hopefully we'll be there. All right. Bam! I think that's enough of NXT talk. You ready to go SmackDown and the news and the theories?
Yep.
All right, SmackDown. We just talked about this a lot, me and Rob, because we host the same show, so this might be a little bit slower. But Seth Rollins informed Dean Ambrose of the SmackDown opponent. Very predictable. Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler defeated Fandango and The Miz. And good for Dolph Ziggler. I think he went the week undefeated. Maybe us give him the championship.
This might be a first. It'll definitely be a last.
Eva Marie versus Alicia Fox ended in a no contest. It was just badly done.
Well, you need to add in why it ended in a no contest. I feel like that's a critical part of how bad that match was, but also why that match was important.
Why don't you answer all that? Because I don't even know if I can answer. I've actually watched this show, and I'm like, oh, how is it important?
Well, it's because it's advancing the Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon storyline, where Brie Bella's going to come back to stick up for her sister. And that's also keeping Daniel Bryan as a fresh thing as soon as that story happens, which is good to buy him time and keep him in the limelight while he was injured. So that if he can come back, he comes back to a better chance.
All right, and Chris Jericho defeated Luke Harper, with many on the internet are saying match of the week. Many are putting this match over like crazy. I just thought it had two
pretty good
spots with the John Cena match. It's hard to say, it's hard to be. You have to be honest. You can't be like, oh, I fucking hate John Cena, and then Chris Jericho does the same exact fucking match and be like, this is a great match. You either have to fucking hate John Cena or not fucking hate John Cena. But
as someone who doesn't hate John Cena, I thought it was a good match.
I thought it was average with the same exact spots that John Cena did. Like, same story, same everything. They continued the USA versus Russia thing. There are internet reports. I said this earlier in the show. There are internet rumblings. They might be dropping the storyline because of the airplane situation. I don't know. I thought it was kind of done better on Raw. This was like a watered down Raw version, in my opinion.
It wasn't fantastic, but it was definitely better than last week's SmackDown.
Albert Del Rio defeated Kofi Kingston in a little bit of a surprise match. I love everything about Albert Del Rio except his wrestling abilities. But I thought for Albert Del Rio, he busted his ass, and I wish this match was a little bit longer. And Kofi Kingston, I just don't know what's up. You know what I mean? It's confusing because me personally, I've been watching Kofi Kingston since his FCW days, and I was just like, dude, gravity doesn't exist for this guy. This guy is amazing. He has his own unique style, and I feel like I'm the only one. You know what I mean? Like
No, the WWE knows about his style. They bring it out only for Royal Rumbles, typically.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would actually like to see him fight in the juniors or the X division or be booked a lot better. I mean, him and Dragon Gate. I mean, he's kind of big for Dragon Gate, and he's got a unique style, but it'd be interesting. And even New Japan. I don't know. Like, it's so weird. When you see a guy who fucking, like a Dolph Ziggler or a Kofi Kingston, you're happy because they're on the biggest stage. But at the same time, the biggest stage doesn't love them as much as you do. So you're kind of like, man, I'd love to see where this is going, you know? I just think Kofi Kingston is an amazing, unique style and should be treated a lot better and pushed a lot more. I don't know about a main eventer, maybe a short-term title run, but definitely high mid-carder. And if he's successful and the fans get behind him, hey, you might have a main eventer on your hand. But definitely a million times better than he's being booked. AJ Lee and Paige defeated Summer Rae and Layla. I'm not going to lie, I masturbated to this match. Judge me all you want.
I'm judging the fuck out of you, you weird
This is
son
the
of a...
fucking thing. I missed it. We did a SmackDown review. Maybe you saw it. I completely missed this. I think I fast-forwarded because on SmackDown there was like 800 fucking Raw recaps, and I fast-forwarded this one. Hornswoggle showed the Usos how to Sonic at his own risk. I I probably fast forward through this because I thought it was a Raw recap. There was a
Dude,
lot of Raw.
I don't remember Hornswoggle at all.
Yeah, I guess me and you both fast forwarded because all the internet imagery is like, what about the Usos and Sonic and Hornswoggle? And granted, I watched the feed from Germany, so maybe there's no Sonics in Germany and they cut it out. That's a possibility. But
Oh no, there was a Sonic spot with Adam Rose, and it was horrible. I don't remember the Usos spot. I thought we were intentionally ignoring the shitty
I don't know.
commercial.
Maybe in Germany they didn't play it. I just fast forwarded because there were so many Raw main event recaps. It was crazy. This might have broke a record. SmackDown has been really good at not showing too much Raw main events, but this week they had a break.
It was on the high side, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't over half the show.
Dude, it was 90% of the show.
It was not 90%.
I love how I'm so negative and you're so positive, and the reality is, I guess if you're listening, you have to go in between. And Dean Ambrose defeated Kane via disqualification. That was the main event. Bam.
And that spot ended me because I'm a little disappointed Roman Reigns didn't come out. Like, you didn't run toward the back on Monday. All right, we'll forgive that. You didn't come out and help him again on Friday. What the fuck? I thought the Shield was back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but he did come out after the cameras stopped rolling. The live audience did get to see.
So they say.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying. They beat him up. They beat him up for 4 minutes.
This would be an awkward thing to lie about.
They beat him up for like 4 minutes. I feel like Reigns runs fast enough. He could have got there. He could have even come down through the crowd.
I love how people like make fun of the internet for lying, but like sometimes like the most random shit. People are like, "You're a fucking liar." Like John Cena wore a blue hat instead of a purple hat, and they'll be like, "You're fucking lying." It said it on the internet, and I'm like, "Do you just picture?" I don't know. There's not many people I've ever pictured that lie over such little things. But then again, me and you have a friend that has done that before.
I don't believe the internet.
Of course. But mainstream media, I believe everything they say. Even on the other channel says everything the other channel said was a lie.
Absolutely.
It's got to be true.
Absolutely.
All right, that was the end of our review portion of this show. Please, in the comments, put who you thought the MVP was. Put in the comments who you thought the best WWE show of the week was. And if you're like, you know what? I need more fat guys breaking down shows more than this. We break down each of these individual shows on our YouTube channel, so you can like, comment, subscribe. Now, on to the big 3-4 headlines of the week. You ready for the big 4 headlines of the week?
I'm ready.
KocoSports.com. WWE hopes to use Kenta to help launch WWE Network in Japan in 2015. So
I'm pretty
everyone's
excited about Kenta.
And hopefully the network, you can get on computers.
I've even heard rumors that Kenta's actually supposed to be teaching some Japanese-style stuff at NXT while he learns the WWE stuff.
I want that to be so true.
Which
But,
would be awesome.
There's talks about Prince Devitt. You got Sami Zayn. You got Kevin Steen coming. I mean, dude, I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, "Fuck Triple H in the asshole," but then you hear interviews. You know, like they did a lot of interviews at Be a Star in Orlando, and you'll hear interviews where they're kind of breaking it down. Like, no, Triple H really wants good wrestling, and then you're like, "Fuck Vince, die, Vince." Okay, that's not too extreme. Not die, just retire and happily ever after. But yeah, it makes me excited for the future of Triple H, the guy who's going to be running the ship, actually cares about pro wrestling. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the future of NXT. And hopefully, you know, there's going to be fans that want hardcore, extreme, rated R shit. But I think if the product was good in ring and the storylines weren't embarrassing, you could still keep it PG and still get all that advertising money. You know what I mean? Like, I believe WWE can be good. This can't be PG, bad in the ring. You know what I mean? You can't have the factor of bad booking.
See, my gripe is, like, alright, I get the need for PG for why they want to do PG for SmackDown and Raw. But main event and pay-per-views, there's no reason.
Yeah, because it's on the networks.
Yeah, go over the top on those. Go over the top on NXT.
No. I just hope, even if you stay PG, company-wide, at least put in great athletes and great wrestlers with simple storylines. And
seriously, like John Cena, the simplest storyline. He's just a dude who doesn't lose. Let's get more of that.
I want to fucking... I don't even have a response. Like, all right, sure, that's what we need. All right, so hopefully Kenta is done. A lot of conversation throughout the week. We even did a separate video on it. And it's just people saying, oh, don't worry about Kenta. Just be happy for him. You can be happy for someone and be worried about them. And for those that defend the WWE blindly, here's my question. Give me a list of Japanese superstars that panned out well in WWE. Yeah. I'm sorry if Japan is fucking worried. I'm sorry if Kenta fans...
Daniel Bryan.
Sadly, Daniel Bryan's probably more Japanese than Yokozuna. All right. Speaking of Yokozuna, fellow family member, The Rock tells ESPN that a return to WWE is still possible. I like The Rock for sports entertainer. I don't give a shit if he ever comes back. I like The Rock in Hollywood. I like The Rock as a sports entertainer. I never thought he was a great wrestler. I never hated him. I never loved him. I was just like, oh, that's an entertaining guy. You know what I mean? I was like in the middle. Because there's people that are like, I absolutely hate The Rock, and there's people that are like, The Rock is everything. I masturbate to him every night. And I'm like, oh, I know what The Rock is. He's a superstar who's entertaining. You know, if John Cena was as entertaining as The Rock, maybe I'd lean up on, back off on him a bit. But I was never a huge Rock fan, but I do enjoy his movies. You know, I go out of his way to watch Rock movies, and I don't want him to return. Like, just go away, Rock. I don't know. I don't hate him. I'm not, you know, I enjoyed his stuff in WWE, but I don't, you know, and I know it's going to bring back Attitude Era fans, and I know it's going to do lots money-wise, but I'm just speaking as a fan, not as a businessman. I love how everyone acts like they run WWE or have stock in it. As a fan, Rock, just stay away. I would rather you make fucking, what was that movie where the Disney movie? Where he was a football player and had to hang out with his daughter. I'd rather see a sequel to that. What, was that Tooth Fairy?
I think so. Tooth Fairy, he played some sport and then he had to hang out with kids.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same one. But anyway, all of Rock's movies I enjoyed. You know, there's not many. I haven't watched Doom in defense of Rock. Because a lot of people are like, I like all Rock's movies. Have you seen Doom? No, I haven't. Sorry.
Doom's pretty great.
Really? Every time I say I like all the Rock's movies, someone screams, have you seen Doom?
I like Doom.
I hopefully The Rock goes. And if The Rock does come back, don't do the 6-month storyline. Fucking get your storyline. If you're gonna come back for the WrestleMania payday, which is most likely, just fucking come back. You don't need to be on Raw every fucking other week. You don't need, you know, like all these people are like, he's not on Raw every week. I'm like, thank God he's not on Raw every fucking week. Fuck, he's gonna sing and do an open comedy? No. So, I don't know. I got mixed feelings about The Rock. Tell us down in the comments if you're excited for The Rock to return.
I would like to see him come back, personally. Though I do think he should only do like a 3-month run-up.
Would you like to see him, now my question for you is, would you like to see him come back for one match and maybe just a 2 or maybe a 1-month build-up? Or do you want to do the fucking, I'm coming back in 8 months bullshit?
I want to do like a good like 2 or 3 month build up.
All right, so I'm saying a 1-month build up is all you need. You say 2 or 3. WWE will give us a 6-year build up. So there you go.
They're gonna actually start building in tomorrow.
Yeah, they're like, tell ESPN, start running that storyline.
He'll be in WrestleMania 37.
I'm just made myself sad. And CM Punk comments on WWE removing from the roster. It was big news. He gave out a tweet that basically said thank you and don't take shit from anyone. Thank you, Punk was trending. So, I love CM Punk more than a straight man should. I think CM Punk is the greatest thing this generation has seen as far as WWE goes. But
Well,
with
you
that
haven't seen
said,
Tony Divas, though.
yeah, he's going to Total Divas. That'd be awesome. With that said, I don't want to see him return either. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just a player hater, but I just think WWE is stuck. And you have John Cena and the other three schmucks, and when they get stale, bringing someone from the closet to fucking wrestle John Cena isn't helping the fucking product. It's helping sales short term, but in the long run, it's not. It's like cutting off your penis to sell it, to use the money to fuck a prostitute. It's getting you nowhere fast. I just think that it's time to start passing these goddamn torches. And NXT looks amazing. I think it's Vince past the Triple H pass. Because the thing is, you've been playing it safe, except for the network. And you're losing your fucking ass off. If you're going to lose your ass off, might as well fucking rebuild it. That's why I wish there was a Ted Turner stealing these guys. Or Dixie Carter. It would be great if Dixie... Dude, that would be the best thing for WWE and the worst thing for TNA if Dixie Carter came by and got John Cena, Batista, and Orton. Because WWE will shove them down their throat. The reason the Hogan era really ended, and Bret Hart really ended, and Macho Man really ended, they would have probably never ended. But WCW bought them. Dixie Carter. I don't know, TNA's doing so good.
There's no way she could buy John Cena.
Well, someone needs to buy him.
TNA doesn't have the money to buy John Cena.
Well, did you not see their house show, Russell? Did you not see tonight's house show?
Yeah.
In a prepaid show! You never know! Yeah, it's
John Cena sees more people in the Make-A-Wish Foundation wing of a hospital just visiting sick kids. He sees more sick kids in 1 week than that TNO house show had.
You know what? I am a big John Cena hater, but that might be true. And I'm not going to blast this guy because I hate blasting indie wrestlers, but I put up the house show, and let me see. We'll just use his first name. Derek says, my guess it was a sold or bought show. Listen, dude, that's like me saying, oh, I'm fucking a jar of mayonnaise. You walk in and be like, well, someone's paying me to do this. It's still fucking embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, there you fucking have it. All right, last story, then last story.
Oh, as a note on the Punk thing, though.
We'll go to your live comments and then your wrestle theory.
Well, there is a rumor on Punk, though, that he actually came to terms with the WWE before the roster switch on the website and removing his merch and everything. Like, they not came to terms as in new contract, but as in it was at least as amicable as it could be.
Well, Jim Ross is setting up a rumor that it might be, dude, get ready. Get ready to shit your pants in excitement. Hopefully it's true. Jim Ross and CM Punk are going to do English commentary for New Japan.
Well, no. Jim Ross already came out about that and said that's not actually anything that's even been talked about. That's just his fantasy. He would like to do it.
I want to, for the record, I officially fucking hate you, Jim Ross. I fucking hate you. I fucking despise you. That's like fucking going to a Tokyo train stop, sitting at the Tokyo train stop, looking straight ahead, and the hottest fucking girl in the world is wearing like a see-through fucking dress, and she's fucking hot as shit. She's like, listen, I like fat, ugly white guys, and I want to fuck in an elevator. Come follow me. And you're like, oh, right! And then you get to the elevator, and she's like, I just like to fuck with people about fantasies. No, Jim Ross, you don't get to do that to me! You fat fucking pig!
So you're angry at Jim Ross?
Fuck yeah, I'm angry at Jim Ross. Anyway, back to fucking headlines. Like, I'm so disappointed now. Anything I say will be like,
I'm sorry.
No, let's do last. Sting appears to finally sign with WWE talent contract. Merchandise is up on WWE.com. The story is on KocoSports.com. They're even hinting at a match with Undertaker. All good for Sting fans. Or Sting.
Sting hasn't actually signed with them officially.
Well, he did the thing, and also has the T-shirt. So.
Yeah, he hasn't actually signed a contract though.
So you're saying the internet did.
Yeah, this is all courting him.
All right, what did he say?
This is all courting him. That's what has actually come out, is that he hasn't actually signed a Legends contract yet.
How long are those quotes though? How old are those quotes?
Older which quotes?
The Sting quotes.
They're all from like this week, from dirt sheets and shit.
Gotcha. All right, so who knows? I actually don't give a shit if Sting signs or not, but I know
I do. Well, you know they still want to try and do the WrestleMania match, right?
Yeah. Well, the quote, he had a quote that he says he has one more match in him and he wants to do with The Undertaker. That's a Sting quote.
And it's going to be great.
It's
gonna be 20 years later of something we've always wanted.
Yeah. I don't know. WWE is starting to remind me of boxing. The best boxers don't fight each other until they're way past their prime and it's way too late. And all these Sting quotes and this shit, I know people go into it and get crazy. And I know why the internet reports it, and I know why it goes. But there's a part of me that, like, either someone is lying, and I don't think you need to lie. Just don't fucking say anything. You know, like, they're like, oh, I'm not returning. Oh, I'm here. You know, I don't know. I just think, at the end of the day, because, like, people will be like, oh, they got a quote from Sting, and, well, Sting lied to them. They're fucking wrong. And I'm like, that's not how fucking media works. You know, only in wrestling media does that work that way. Like, you know, you're like, if it was on SportsCenter or ESPN or CNN, and you're like, well, that's the Sting quote, Sting said that, and Sting's like, oh, I lied, I just wanted to keep it kayfabed or whatever. You wouldn't blame ESPN or CNN, but you'll blame the internet. I don't know. If you're gonna have quotes, let them be fucking true. Like, I don't understand fucking, oh, we're living in a kayfabe fucking world. We're gonna fucking lie to trick people. I think even in kayfabe world, fucking, it wasn't as bad as now. Anyway, let's go to some live comments. I'm fucking so depressed about Jim Ross saying it was just a fantasy. Fucking shit. I'm so fucking
Jim
shit.
Ross. You're pretty salty about Jim Ross right now.
Dude, because I fucking saw him say it. I was like, oh, that's fucking great. I mean, we didn't fucking do anything news-wise, but we didn't run the story or anything. But he's like, oh, it's just a fantasy. Fuck you and your fantasies. Just shut the fuck up and go away, you fat fuck.
Yeah, he said people were getting way too excited about it and came out and made a statement that it was just a fantasy.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jim Ross. Fuck you.
It was probably a bad idea to voice that fantasy in the week of fucking CM Punk's contract expiring, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I hope New Japan gets the English commentary. It's very important. Way more important than letting AJ Styles fucking... Alright, let's focus on the questions. Jim Ross, I'm having a shitty day. I'm sick. I got a lot of podcasts to do. I missed the lunch. But no. Jim Ross. Straw that broke the camel's back. Total Divas is trash. This is Mr. King. It's one of the reasons why Raw sucks. They should put all that crap on SmackDown. Oh, they put it on SmackDown too, Mr. McKee. Marcus Rollins says, why did WWE push an unathletic Eva Marie who clearly can't work over an athletic JoJo?
She actually is athletic. She was a Division I soccer player. But she's also only spent like 2 weeks at the fucking training center.
I don't know. I think JoJo had the problem of she was just too young. So I don't know.
She wasn't doing anything entertaining then.
I'm worried about JoJo's future. I don't know if she's still under contract.
It's hard to find out what she's actually doing now, because I tried to look into that, and yeah. Basically, she wasn't entertaining enough for reality TV, so she got bumped down to just NXT to actually get worked on, they had said, and then there hasn't really been anything else about her since then.
Gotcha. To me, when someone says you're not entertaining enough for reality TV, that just means you're fucking normal. Like, you're a good person. If someone says you're not entertaining enough to be on reality TV, that to me translates to you might just be a good person.
Well, like, I do know that they gave her chances. Like, they let her try and sing and shit like that, and it just didn't work out. Yeah. But she's not as smoking hot as Eva Marie, so her being a failure at different things isn't as good for her.
Yeah. Mr. The King says, I don't understand how Del Boring won a WWE Championship and Ziggler didn't, along with 70% of the roster been at WWE longer than him. Mexico tours. They have to get that. They have to get the Mexican fan base. And WWE believes in if you have one race superstar, that's good enough. It's like
so what you're telling me is if the WWE does a tour in Africa, we will finally see a black champion? Or are you saying they'll find a white African?
That's something to think about. That's something to think about. I have no idea. Probably not. But yeah, but they always need at least one. There's always the Rey Mysterio. Sin Cara was supposed to be that replacement. And I wonder if not Dolph Ziggler. Del Rio is just that guy staying around because they're like, we can't find one. Sounds horrible, but the liquid in the cups looks like plastics. They're talking about the Sonic commercial that we must have skipped.
Right. The Sonic commercial looked fucking terrible. It was bad.
Have you finally seen it, or did you just not even bother?
No, I remembered it. I tuned it out, and I didn't bring it up on SmackDown because the fact that it was a commercial, and I hated the Twisted Tea one, and this one was worse than Twisted Tea.
Kenta is just a crutch, then will be scrapped like Yoshitatsu, and this theme song will sound so stupid like Yoshitatsu's. Mr. The King, history is on your side. The betting odds are on your side. I just want to believe.
They're going to do Kenta right. They need Kenta to be right for the tour. Just like, they're not going to change his name. Triple H has been tweeting his name and shit way too much. If they change his name, they lose a huge part of the value of why they got him. They want him to launch the Japanese network. And that doesn't work if he's not Kenta.
And Japanese media has covered this before. Japanese media has covered and asked. In English letters, in Noah, in Japan, it's all cap. K-E-N-T-A. Kenta! But for WWE, to keep their copyright, it's K little letters, E-N-T-A. So that's all they're doing, the name change, according to Japanese media and Triple H. But you might be surprised. Americans in front of a different audience will change their point of view very often. I don't know if you noticed that, non-Americans or people that have traveled the world, but when an American speaks in front of you, he might say you're great until you come back to America. Beware, Russian bridesmaids. This joke went way too horribly wrong.
That joke was terrible. That joke was as bad as the Ziggler match.
All right, let's see. Any new messages? I think we're going to be wrapping this up shortly. Bam, bam. Oh no, we didn't get to your theories, right?
No.
All right, get in as many live comments as you can during theory time. This is our last segment, and then we will be doing pay-per-view profits with the booms. I don't know if you will be joining us, but I probably should have asked that off air. Will you be joining us? And what is the theories? Internet inventory, get your damn comments in now.
I don't know. I'll join you guys if you and Booms want me. I don't care. Okay. The theory for this week is Kane. What I think they should do is just get a big dude from, like, another tall, like, similar stature guy from NXT. Rebrand this dude, be like, all right, listen, you're going to be Kane. And not new Kane. You do old Kane to before the fucking, he got his voice, and like, go back to when there was the 2 Kane storyline, okay? That's stupid as shit stuff, right? And go back to that and say that this is the real Kane, that the other Kane actually beat him and locked him up, and he's just escaped, and have him just be on a fucking warpath, and bring back the Monster Kane, and just keep him a monster forever.
I normally like your theories, but I absolutely hate Kane. So,
I want old Kane.
I
I'm
like
tired of seeing new Kane.
Kane goes away forever. You have a theory about that?
Yeah, new Kane's going away forever in this theory, as he's replaced by replacement Kane that is disguised as old Kane. It's a little complicated.
It is complicated, but I still want no Kane.
Well, you know what? You can't have that. Then we'll go on to my other theory, which is that the best way to get CM Punk back to the WWE is AJ Lee needs to become a starring diva on Total Divas. That way we can force cameras into every part of CM Punk's life.
I think I would watch Total Divas. You got Daniel Bryan, who's injured. You get to watch him. And then you just got CM Punk sitting in the background watching hockey.
Yeah, it'd be great.
You
should watch it. I'm telling you, man. You get to see. This is the only way you're going to see Daniel Bryan for a while.
And do you think they have the interviews, like where they're like, CM Punk, what did you think about AJ Lee buying a new puppy? And he's like, just fucking leave me alone.
Yeah, it'd be great. He'd be like, God damn it, WWE. And, you know, he's got to go with it. That's his wife. He doesn't want her to lose her job. So he's like, yeah, just fucking go away. She starts getting upset. Punk's never home when I come home from the road. He says he's tired of the WWE film crew.
I think he starts losing his mind, and like the third or fourth week into shooting, there's just TNA posters all over Punk's house.
Just everywhere.
And like wherever the camera is, he's just holding up TNA signs.
Just Cena sucks signs everywhere.
No, I don't think WWE would even censor that shit out. I think the TNA stuff would be. All right, let's see if there's any live comments. If not, we're going to re-break, go potty, and go. Unless you have another theory. Do you have another theory?
Nope.
All right.
Mr. Word.
All right, 2 comments. One from Forsaken. Pay-per-view profits time? Yes. We're going to get drinks, eat, regroup, get boom boom. We'll be back in 10 minutes. I can't wait. There's the KocoSports trio will be all together. Either way, I'll be there. All right. Most likely we'll all be there. Now we're putting a lot of pressure on Boom, because me and you are like, yeah, sure, we'll be on there. And then if you don't show up, like, let's say you even change your mind. Like in 10 minutes, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna get laid instead. I'm not doing pay-per-view theories. Pay-per-view profits. And it's like me and Boom's like, no, really, I don't hate him. It still looked bad. Like you're gonna ruin his reputation in the internet inventory.
Wait, what? Why would this ruin his? I'm so confused right now.
Hear me out. Let me break this down. Okay, so me and you are on air, and people are asking if it's going to be all 3 of us. And me and you say, yes, it's up to Boom Boom. But the show goes off the air, and you change your mind.
Oh.
And Boom Boom do it, so everyone's going to think Boom Boom said no.
Boom Boom just shot it down. It's like, yeah, no, I'll do it if Boom's wants to. And then as soon as we're out the air, I'm like, Dave, I'm not fucking doing it.
The internet infantry rumors would begin. All right, and Mr. The King, you're getting the last comment most likely. Let's see, refresh. Yep, no, last 2 comments. Mr. The King's getting the last 2 comments. Hell no to that theory. I want old Kane, but they don't care about him anymore. I just want no Kane. I miss corporate Kane.
No, old Kane, dude. Old Kane back when he was fucking cool and had the fucking full mask and didn't fucking take off his mask and put on a suit sometimes. Like, that Kane was great.
I'm not on board.
Back before someone took Kane to a big and tall store and told him he didn't have to wear a mask all the time, that was when he was good.
I never liked Kane.
Yeah, well, you don't like a lot of things, like apple pie and freedom. That's why you're in Japan.
I love apple pie and freedom, and that is why.
Apparently you don't. Not that much.
Hey, I eat apple pie. And this is a shoot. I eat apple pie every morning. And me, really? Are you more free than me?
Do you eat apple pie every morning, really?
For real, it's a shoot. That's why it was like the worst thing you could pull out.
Why the fuck do you eat so much apple pie? Jesus Christ, that's not good for you.
I eat like the same food over and over and over, and I don't like breakfast, but they have like this little apple pie pastry, and I was like, my wife's like, no, you got to eat 3 meals. I'm like, fuck breakfast. Like, I hate breakfast as much as I hate John Cena.
I like that your breakfast doesn't have a K in it. I hate breakfast.
Whatever, my friends. Let's pay attention. I hate breakfast or breakfast, depending on how you pronounce it. But I hate it more than John Cena. My wife's like, no, doctors say you got to take these pills and eat fucking breakfast. And we compromised. I'm like, all right, I like that apple pie pastry. So every morning I eat an apple pie pastry.
Oh, okay. That's
And,
not apple pie, though.
And let's not get too political, but just a yes or no. Do you really feel more free than me?
No.
All right.
I feel like I've been given the illusion of freedom.
Mr. the King. Total Divas goes in depth in their lives. However, those stories are fabricated. I've never seen
Partially fabricated.
What's that?
Partially fabricated.
All right. And we will be back in 10 to 15 minutes with 3 of us or 2 of us.
Or one of us.
So please like, comment, subscribe our YouTube. Go to the blog. Comment on the blog. Buy our T-shirts. And Twitter, Facebook. And you know what? Just whatever you can do. If you can even just go outside and scream, KocoSports.com! We'd really appreciate it. You got anything to say? Or do you just want to say see you in 10 minutes?
Something, my YouTube, something in the description. That was it. That was my spot.
All right. KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. And with that, I am over.